Dragi gledalci, želim vam dobrodošlicu u 5. epizodu Walk On podcasta. Zanimljiv je dan, dosta se danas stvari dešava, ali ova epizoda je specijalna zato što je u potpunosti internacionalna i ovaj uvod radim na našem maternjem jeziku, ali ću se prilagoditi našem gostu, Krisu Johnu. Njega ćemo predstaviti kao Engleza u Beogradu, tako ćete pročitati na thumbnailu, ali čućemo priču čoveka koji dolazi iz Londona, a koji je veliki fan Liverpula i koji je već neko vreme naš sugrađanin u Beogradu. Prebacujem se na engleski i odjavu ćemo uraditi na srpskom. Još jednom želim vam dobrodošlicu i poslušajte ove zanimljive priče koje ima da nam ispriča John. Kris, so welcome in a fifth episode, let's say that can be one milestone in this podcast because this is a first international one. Okay. And welcome, and let's start about your connections between London, Liverpool, and Belgrade. Okay. Is it rare to have some London lads who are supporting Liverpool?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me on the show. I really do appreciate it, and I know it's only just started, but I'm having a great time already. So thank you. That's a big question. You'd be surprised. Well, the thing with Liverpool, it's one of those clubs that there are people everywhere who support them, and London is just one of those places. I mean, people in London, we support teams that are good, and Liverpool's a good team. It's as simple as that, really. I mean, I've supported them since I was a kid. I mean, there was times when I wasn't sure when you're a little bit younger, you're kind of like, what team should I support? And where I was brought up in London, it's not too far from Watford. So that was kind of like my second or first team. I wasn't quite sure. But to answer your question, yeah, there's a lot of people from London who support Liverpool. There's, like you said, and there's a lot of people all around the world who do, as you obviously know.
But did some moment, like some generation, made a click? Like this is definitely I will be from the red part of Liverpool,
No, that's another good question. Well, basically the thing is, going back to what I was saying before, where I lived in northwest London, Watford was sort of like a closest sort of team, and my older brother was a Liverpool fan, and he was always sort of saying to me, come on, Kris, you need to support Liverpool. I don't know if you've got any brothers and sisters who are older, but they can be great, but sometimes they're like...
I'm the older one, sorry.
Right, so it's people like you see. I mean, I shouldn't really talk to you, but sometimes they put the pressure on. And I'm going to be honest with you, John Barnes played for Watford, and as a black player. And I was always used to kind of have him watching him in the back of my mind and on TV and all that sort of thing. And also, when I was a kid, there was a lot of issues with certain people going to football matches. So a lot of the football matches I watched as a Liverpool fan were on TV because I couldn't go to the matches because of
the problems, okay.
Because of the problems.
Okay.
So Liverpool were always on the TV. So that was kind of like always in my mind as well. Plus the John Barnes Watford thing. And then when he switched to Liverpool in 87, 88 for £900,000, I think it was a lot of money back then, and it created such a buzz amongst my community, and that was it. That was like, okay, he's now at Liverpool, he's a black player, damn, that's it.
Yes,
job done.
And he had really good start of the career in Liverpool, and that was for you, like, let's say, maybe the best time, or for some new supporters now, to support a strong club in the strong moment.
Exactly. I mean, the clubs are exactly. When you're sort of in your infancy of supporting something or liking something, it's easy to get caught up in like, people talking about it before you make up your own personal decision. So you go for what all your friends know and what you're hearing all the time. And like I said, as a child, Liverpool was bombarded, all the time, TV. You go past the shops and they were winning stuff, and you as a child, you're kind of influenced by that, and you're like, okay, should I? And then, like I said, John Barnes thing just clicked it, and I was like, there you go.
Yes, but those are the connections. Because
exactly.
It's nice.
Exactly.
So let's come to Belgrade.
Okay.
What's your story with Belgrade?
What's my story with Belgrade? Someone very dear to me, someone very, very, very dear to me moved here for her work, and she brought me along with her.
Oh, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's very good. You know what men are like. You know, we have someone, we meet them, and all of a sudden we follow them wherever they go. That's men for us, you know. And that's basically my story. We actually had they sorted out there was a thing at your bar.
Yes, we were watching Liverpool Red Star.
Liverpool Red Star,
but I don't know, is she a supporter of Liverpool or not? No. We need to know that.
No. I bore her to tears. Whenever I mention Liverpool, I see her eyes kind of glaze up and she just nods. And I say, okay, you're right, fine.
So Manchester, yeah. So Manchester.
No, she's actually a Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nottingham Forest fan. So there you go.
Okay, cool. So in Belgrade, how long you're in Belgrade? You?
Actually, 2 years ago, 2 weeks from 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, 2 years.
Oh, nice. So, beside enjoying Belgrade like a citizen, you're working. You said you had some radio station.
Yeah, well, basically what it is on a Sunday afternoon, so it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Belgrade time. I broadcast it's called the Chris John Sunday Supplement. It's on a station. It's internet radio. www.hot97uk.com. So it's 11 to 1 p.m. Belgrade time. Basically what it is, it was set up by one of my brothers, and a couple of my brothers actually in the UK during the COVID time, in order to cheer up a few friends and whatnot. And it's just spiraled. It's just got bigger all of a sudden. You know, it's funny. I mean, I don't know what it is with how it is with your situation, but we just started with, like I said, just some friends and a bit of fun, and now it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and my audience it's not the biggest, but it's bigger than I thought it would be.
Great, so great. We will put a link in the description of our video. So let's speak about football now, about that actual thing, you know, that thing which is the hottest now. Liverpool got a really, really nice Champions League group.
Yes, I just saw Ajax, Atalanta, and
Midtjylland.
Yes, Midtjylland. Sorry, I do apologise to anyone.
No, I had a joke with Linders in the last episode. So, but okay. Midtjylland, okay, Denmark, yeah.
I don't know much about the other teams, if I'm going to be honest with you. Ajax, I know a little bit about them. I know that their manager, Hag, is it? Hag? Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I do apologise. I mean, he's a young manager in football terms. He's like 50 or something like that. And I've seen Ajax play a couple of times recently, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're a youngish team, if I'm right.
They're always investing from their academy. Exactly, one of the strongest academy, you know, beside Barcelona's, also Valencia's.
Yeah, so I mean, out of the three teams, Atalanta, I suppose I'd be a little bit worried about. Ajax, purely because Ajax is Ajax, you know. You can't ever rule them out totally, but I still feel, and as obviously as a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say this, I still feel we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Klopp, I have faith in Klopp.
Cool. So my opinion is that you know, it will be with Ajax so, but with Atalanta, because the style of the play of Atalanta is in some let's say details much more similar to our style of play.
Yes, that's right.
And they are really dynamic, and they have you know, they are bringing the players which are not so well known for let's say most of the football fans in the world and Europe, and maybe that can be problematic. But as you said, we all have a faith in Klopp, and you know, I think that scar from Atletico Madrid at Anfield, you know, that thing needs to be you know, now better in this 2020-2021 season.
Yeah.
Of course, again, we were speaking a lot about that fact and that influence of playing without the fans.
Okay.
Which is the situation now? Here is the question which came from this talk. Which is the situation with COVID in UK? Because they put the restriction for that coming back of the fans, and is it nasty or?
Oh, okay. So I was reading up about it not too long before I came out there, and apparently they're putting more restrictions in up north, so like Liverpool and areas like that. So now they're doing it sort of city by city rather than country by
Region by region.
Region, yeah, exactly. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure on what the restrictions are on coming here and all that sort of stuff at the precise moment in time, so I don't really want to comment on that. But it's not looking great. I'll just say that. From friends of mine who are texting me from the UK, they're not impressed with the way things are, and that's what I'm going to say.
Okay. No, there's a thing we will need to. Definitely, we will need to be patient and to wait for the spring sun, or to shine or whatever. But until then, we will watch those games in all the matches for Liverpool in all competitions. Yeah. Tonight we are playing that second game in 3 or 4 days with Arsenal. Definitely there will be a rotation, and some players are also getting a rest. Sure. Pepe Linder spoke about that in a press conference yesterday. But let's go back to Arsenal game.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
What do you think about that counter press? I think that this was one of the strongest counter press games for Liverpool in I think maybe this year.
Yeah, listen, I think we bossed it, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. I mean, if any Arsenal fans are watching, they might...
Here is Vanya.
Oh, okay.
That's the joke always.
We bossed it. No, we did. I mean, okay. I mean, obviously we had the Community Shield, and that was for me, that was Klopp looking at the opposition. He was like, okay, you put your best team out. Well, let's have a look, see what you've got. And then we were like, okay, when it really matters, and no disrespect to the Community Shield, I don't mean anything disrespectful to it, but in the league, we were just a better side. It's as simple as that. I mean, the defence was much better. I mean, the first game of the season against Leeds, let's just say we weren't doing very well. We were still a bit fuzzy, to say the least. But this game, we were fantastic. We did 4 at the back as always, blah, blah, blah. And then we had 1 dropping back to make it 5 whenever we needed to. Keita, Wijnaldum, and Thingbob in midfield were just...
Fabinho was great also.
Listen, Fabinho as well, sorry, my bad. Yes, of course, they were fantastic. And Mane, gee whiz, man.
Mane. I watched compilation today. Liverpool official site. They've put like all the touches from Mane and all the. He was I don't know. He was on Duracell batteries or something like that.
Listen, Mane. He's. I mean, obviously, you might ask me later on. I don't know who my favourite players are throughout the Liverpool and all that sort of stuff. But right now, for me, it's Mane because he is just relentless. If I was a defender and I saw him on the team sheet, I'd be like, oh gosh, I'm going to work tonight.
Bellerin had that, I think.
Well, this is. I mean, when I saw Arsenal's team sheet and I saw David Luiz, and I was like, yeah. It made me smile, and I was thinking, yeah, I hope Mane and them boys harass him. And Mane, he harasses people. I mean, like when he scored against Chelsea, when he harassed the goalkeeper. He's relentless, and I like that about him. He just carries himself well on and off the pitch, and he's just in your face all the time, and I love that.
No, he was a bit bored, like he ever was, or he's always. As also when he's getting off, Klopp needed to say him something, but he was like, "Fuck, man, I want to play."
Exactly,
I want to play.
You've got to love that. He's got such an engine on him. I mean, I wish I had half the engine he does, because I'd be running up and down all day just for fun. And like I said, he bullies people. He doesn't give people time to think, and he's on them. And obviously Liverpool's, do the pressing and all that sort of stuff anyway, but he does it extra. And it's just amazing to watch.
Yes, definitely. He was here player of the game, but for me the best moment was that fast goal for 1-1. And that was again from Mane. After that, the Robo made up his mistake, after that in interview, after the game, he was speaking like I could not be calm if I did not score, because he was pissed off on himself because of that mistake. But the main thing is, That's really interesting when you said that Klopp was watching opposite side, in this case Arteta's, because Arteta was defending the same in Community Shield and now, really deep and really, let's say compact, but this counter press, broke them totally.
Absolutely. I mean, Aubameyang was non-existent.
Nowhere.
Non-existent throughout the whole game.
Nowhere.
And listen, I've got to say a massive shout to Alisson as well in goal as well, because goalkeepers tend to get missed for some strange reason, and he was awesome as well. I mean, one of them might have been offside or whatever and blah blah, but he was still stood when he needed to, and he was there to be counted. So yes, it was a fantastic game.
There's the thing which Klopp also saying, if somebody in the field is not doing something, we need Alisson to work something. He had those great saves, especially 2 from Lacazette. But yes, I wanted to ask you that about that. Definitely, for most people from football, especially for trainers, Klopp was speaking about that rule of offside.
Okay.
Because the first one definitely was. It was not said only by Klopp. Afterwards, when I was watching some pundits of Sky Sports and also Gary Lineker from BBC, they were saying that the first one, we did not saw that in live. That first chance was offside.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But they needed to wait because of that. For me, stupid rule, boring rule, because you need to wait them to score a goal. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, this whole, like you said, this whole VAR thing, and it's okay.
Do you remember Premier League before VAR? Before VAR? Do you remember?
I do. And but there was a lot of times when people would argue, was it a goal and was not, and now you know. So is it good? It's like anything that's new, you're going to get teething problems, okay? The first season let's just forget about that. Now, it's getting better, and I like the fact that the referee can actually come over and make the decision himself. The whole thing about the flag and carrying on, you've got to be careful with that, because if a player's carrying on and he's like got momentum and he crashes into a keeper or something like that player could get injured, and he doesn't need to get injured because it's offside and they could have stopped it. This is my opinion.
That's one thing which can influence the game, But I think they will need to rethink. They will need to rethink this rule until the end of the season, maybe. I don't know which is the procedure of FA when they are changing some rules.
Sure.
But also there is that thing with the handball, really tough decisions. Really interesting decisions also. And I've seen some statistic that if they continue, if this trend of getting penalties for handball continues, at the end of the Premier League 2021, we will have around 90 or something like that penalties only from handball. So that I think they will. I think they are watching all the time, and maybe they will have some new decisions maybe in the part between after the New Year's Eve and after the Boxing Day.
I mean, like I said, absolutely. These things are just working themselves out. With any new rules or any sort of thing, it can go either way, sort of thing. So it needs a bit of ironing out. I mean, look at Jota. I mean, they were saying maybe he was handball or not. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm going to say no, it wasn't. But some people might say it was. I don't know. So. It works both ways.
He's quiet. He's quiet.
I'm not hearing anything.
I think he's working something.
Is this thing still working? I don't know.
Okay. What do you expect from tonight's game? Because you said that you not support Liverpool in all the competitions, but a stupid thing for me. But the Carabao Cup is also important.
Listen, the Cup's a cup. And also it gives players who don't get in the first team on a regular basis, you can throw them out there as well, sort of thing. I mean, I don't know what the team is for tonight. I haven't looked or anything like that, but if
we still don't have it.
I mean, Jota should have a go. I mean, Williams, Jones should have a go. Some of these guys.
Elliot.
Exactly.
Yes,
give these guys a bit of a run out. I mean, it's always nice to win a cup. And the fact is, it also gives them, the other players, a chance to get into that sort of cup mentality. What's it like to go through the whole process of being in a cup? Does that make sense? You know, it's a different feeling from a from a Premiership game. Because you know, okay, if you don't beat him this time, we're going to get him next time or whatever, or there's another one next week.
No, you're going step by step.
Step by step, exactly. Yes. So it's a different mental process sort of thing. So give these guys a chance, man. I mean, why not?
Result? 3-0. As every guest is saying here. 3-0.
Obviously, I'm going to say Liverpool to win sort of thing.
Diplomatic one, you know.
Arteta's a decent man. I mean, he's not a fool. I mean, Arsenal looking a lot better under his wing sort of thing. Will they beat us? Obviously, I hope not. I think it will be a lot closer than the last game. I reckon about a 2-1 to us.
Okay. Were you surprised when you saw how many LFC fans are in Serbia?
Yes and no. Because I know that Liverpool Football Club is supported very well all around the world. So a lot of the countries I've been to, there's always seems to be an LFC club. And which is why it's one of the reasons why I like this club, is because when you go somewhere and you tell people that you're a Liverpool fan, you immediately have some sort of bond. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with other clubs, but I know it definitely happens with Liverpool. And I know fans who support other clubs, and they don't normally get the same reception if you don't look or act a certain way. But I mean, like, I went to your thing in 2018, and in October.
Yes.
Actually,
October, November, something like that.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon, the anniversary. And it's a funny story, because I was told about it, and I was thinking, should I go? I mean, I've only
about the regional. We were speaking about the regional gathering.
Yeah, the regional gathering. Sorry,
number 8-1.
Yes. And I was thinking, should I go because I'm new in town? And I was like, and I've got like a Liverpool shirt. I was going to wear it today, but it doesn't quite fit because I think I've had too many Javapis and Buraks since I've been there, so it's a little bit tight. But and I had the shirt on and I turned up, but I thought, let me button it up. So I had the jumper on, and I got out the taxi, and I was thinking, and then people just kind of stared at me, and I was like, because it was a big, exactly. That's exactly what I did. I opened the shirt, and everyone just went, "Hey,
Superman!"
And then I was like, "Yeah, what's all the worry about, Chrissy? Do you know what I mean? It's all good." And that's why I'm a fan of Liverpool. You know, I like that sort of thing. And no, I'm not surprised that there is a big supporting. It's supported very well in Belgrade. But you need to tell me, what is the deal with that? I mean, is there like a connection or something, or is it just?
I think it's cosmos. I think the forces of the universe, you know, brought. Because I think it's also related with that passion which comes from Balkans, you know, and
yes, it's definitely that.
And all those stories behind Liverpool, either from culture, from music, up to all those also tragedies which Liverpool had in history. I think all those things are connected. You know, when you were speaking about Barnes, I started to watch Liverpool as a kid. I'm born in 81st, and I started to watch as a kid. You know, that club with Barnes at that moment, Rush, you know, after that, you know, after that, at that moment, you know, I was a fan because my father is a fan of Red Star, and I was watching Red Star all the time.
That makes sense.
But you know what? I was in a cage with Liverpool fans against Red Star here, you know. You know, we had also the thing with security. Guy did not wanted to put me and my friend inside. He was like, maybe it will be a you know, provocation. I was like, no, man, you know, we are fans.
I was at that game.
You know, that was, but that was, I think, you know, the most proud moment for you know, Red Star in the recent history, you know.
No,
and it also deserved, you know, it was a shock for us, for Liverpool, definitely, but it was a good game. And after that, you know, I was getting involved with Premier League here on TV. We were speaking about that Bekat television, which was starting to promote and to get all the live coverage from Premier League, and we started like that. But the thing with Liverpool in whole Balkans, is also that special one. Because of that, this is only one podcast in this part
Wow.
of Europe, I think,
Oh,
for
wow.
Liverpool fans. You
Wow,
know,
that's amazing.
So that's a thing. We are doing it. We are doing it slowly, but I think we will come to the right thing during this season. So let's go to another game, Aston Villa.
Oh gosh.
Have you been to some? Let's speak about that. To some away game in UK.
The first ever Liverpool game I went to was what season was it now? 98, I think it was. 98. I think it was against Crystal Palace. And we won 3-0, and Owen scored, McManaman scored, and who else scored as well? I can't remember. But and that was my first Liverpool game, because I always wanted to go, but I was like, and because my job as well, when I got a bit older, I used to work Saturdays, so it was always tough to go away to matches. And that was it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday game anyway. And so that was my first game I saw of Liverpool live. And my first time to Anfield was about 2005, 2006. And I think it was against Bolton. And I'll tell you why I remember it, because who scored? Bishchan, yeah. Bishchan scored, and he doesn't score. And I think he's only ever scored like 2 goals for whole of Liverpool, and everyone was like, what? So that's my sort of thing. And I've been to a couple of games at Anfield since, and I've been on a tour, which was fantastic, which I'm sure you've been on.
Yes, I've been, 2011.
Yeah.
On a tour, and afterwards we were watching through LFC Serbia Merseyside derby when Adiji scored in '96. That was for remembering, you know.
Oh, okay. But if I'm honest, most of my games I've watched either TV or something like that, because, like I said, I used to work on Saturdays and other reasons as well, sort of thing.
Okay, before Aston Villa game, you said that you were watching on TV mostly here in Belgrade with LFC crew, with LFC Serbia crew. Yes.
Well, I started off in Skedalia at Casablanca, and then that closed down, and then we went to Frankie's. There was a bit of time we were in limbo, and then when Frankie's turned up, and that was nice to go there. But now, obviously, because of the situation and all that sort of thing, I'm kind of watch it in random bars or at home sort of thing, which is nice. Do you know what I mean?
Do you have some friends which are Liverpool supporters here?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, I know Milos. Obviously, you know, he was one of the first people I met at your thing, and Ivana. Everyone knows Ivana, and some other guys as well, and I have some English friends as well.
English friends,
some foreign friends. We all meet up and all that sort of thing. So it's nice. Actually, I watched the Aston Villa game with a lot of foreign friends. Actually, one of my friends got married recently, and we went for like a mini sort of stag do, but just to watch the football and have some food, and it was nice. But going back to the Villa game. Sorry, I was.
Yes, no, don't worry. But we are speaking. So Aston Villa had like two wins in a row after 15 years.
Okay,
that is a a hell of a fact, you know. But I think they needed to start strongly because of that last season where they invested a lot, like Fulham, similar to that Fulham season when they fall back again to Championship.
Okay.
But I think because of that they started strong. They had really, for me, surprising transfer yesterday.
Yes,
they took Barkley.
Yeah, I saw that.
What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, do you know what? Aston Villa, one of the teams that I actually kind of like. You know, I didn't want them to go down. Let's put it that way. And the introduction of Barkley, well, I mean, that can only strengthen the team, you know. I mean, they've got some decent players, and obviously with Grealish and Mings and so on and so forth. They've got a decent enough squad. If they're going to give us any stress, no, I don't think so. I mean, we beat them 2-0 last season or something like that, if I remember rightly.
And we had that away game in Birmingham. We had 2-1 with Robbo and Mane.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. My man Mane again. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think they're going to give us any stress. I mean, I would expect Barkley to play straight away. I mean, he knows the score. I mean, he knows the Premiership. Why wouldn't they throw him in at the deep end? Will it be enough to take us on? No, I don't think so. I don't think we've got, and no disrespect to them, I don't think they're quite ready yet. But give them time. I tell you who I am impressed with, and I know I shouldn't say this on this show. Everton.
Why? No. We spoke about, we respect a lot. I respect a lot Carlo Ancelotti, and we spoke about that he doesn't have pressure.
Yeah.
And he bought really good few players. Now he's creating a team for 2 years.
Exactly.
This is not over the night. So
absolutely.
So after this Villa game, we will have the international break and Merseyside derby. Let's speak about that.
Okay. Okay.
To connect with your sentence about Everton,
It's like this is planned. It's amazing. No, it's. I'm not saying they're going to trouble us, because I mean last season we gave them a beating. It's as simple as that. They weren't any stress to us, and I'm just stating the obvious. This season it will be closer. Okay, I feel it will be closer because they're playing a lot better. Ancelotti is no idiot. Okay, he's won trophies everywhere he's been. He's won Champions League twice at Milan and blah 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 blah, and he knows the score. Okay, and he attracts players. I mean, come on, James coming to Everton, would that have happened before? And X amount of players, goodness knows who else he's going to attract as well. And I like James. He sprays the ball around and he brings people in, and all of a sudden, Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Sorry.
Calvert-Lewin scored again yesterday.
Exactly.
Hat-trick in Carabao Cup.
This is what I'm saying. You see, these boys are starting to raise the game now because the manager's like, okay, installing a different kind of mentality into them. You know what footballers are like. It's X amount of percent physical, but it's the mental. The mental side of any sport, as you know. And these guys seem to have a better mentality than they did last season. Will they stress us out? No, I don't think so. But it'll definitely do a hell of a lot better than they did last season.
No, definitely it will be exciting, but maybe the most exciting Merseyside derby in few years.
It'll be the closest one for a while. Like I said, I still I'm going to say every game Liverpool's going to win. But I think we should be okay with this game.
No, that will be a good challenge for the team. It's a bit nasty. Because it comes after the international break.
Yeah.
We saw some. I think there was information today that Henderson will be called up for England, which is a nonsense. He had a problem with tight injury, but we will see also because of COVID and all of that. Nobody knows how Thiago, got a problem. But those things will also influence. We will see in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I just want to call our listeners and viewers to send us questions in comments before the Everton game, and we will definitely answer that in 2 weeks. Before that, we will have also some the best of show videos from those 5 episodes, but I will say that also in Serbian. What do you think about, let's say, all those, not all those matches, but all those competitions which are in front of us? Do you think that Klopp will go for everything?
That's a good question. I don't see why.
From your point of view as a fan.
That's fair enough. I don't see why he shouldn't. I mean, okay, for me, he hasn't got anything to prove. But people will start questioning, was the league a one-off and all this kind of nonsense? Well, people will start saying that. So, obviously I want us to win the league again. That would be fantastic. Champions League, of course, And like I said to the other cups, the Carabao Cup and that would be a nice opportunity to bleed out the rest of the team, to give these guys another, give these younger guys and the new ones a nice opportunity to get some games that they probably wouldn't do on a regular basis, if that makes sense, So, would I want them to win everything? Yeah, of course I would do. But for me, Champions League and the league are the main ones for me, and just to prove to everybody that it wasn't a one-off and this rumour about Klopp only
30 years again.
Exactly, and Klopp does bad in his second season and blah.
No, he's not Mourinho,
Yeah, exactly. Second, after he wins something, he does, and all this kind of stuff, So those are the 2 main ones for me.
Interesting thing, before the start of this Premier League season, bookies and lots of pundits which are working on television, they were saying, bunch of them, like maybe 90+%, they were saying City, Liverpool, and after that we will see. Now, after the game, Leicester and City, and especially after 3 really strong opponents for Liverpool, like Chelsea,
Yes, right.
Leeds, which is super horny, and with Bielsa, and with definitely good football, exciting one, and Arsenal. People are changing their minds, and they are now, saying publicly, that Liverpool is definitely in pole position. What do you think about the City? Let's speak about them a bit.
Well, City,
about their problems,
Pep. Well, I like the fact that they're having problems. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Pep's problem is his defense, and Pep's problem, in my opinion, is Pep. He's too single-minded. He's like, if he makes a decision, it's like, that's the decision, and I don't want to bend. I'm sticking with this. You're losing 8-0. I'm sticking. You know what I mean? He doesnn.
I have a system.
Exactly. I saw bits and pieces.
City's burning. He's like, I have a system.
Exactly. I mean, I saw the Leicester game, and the Leicester were fantastic. Their defense, the bank of 5-4, they were moving like geese or whatever you want to call them. It was great. It was great to watch. And then bang the ball up, and Vardy, when Vardy gets running, it's difficult to stop him. And the other guy was behind him, whose name I can't remember. It will come to me later on. But yeah, so like I said, Pep didn't want to. From what I was seeing, he didn't want to budge. He was like you said, I've got my system, and so I think Pep's downfall would be Pep, and his lackluster defense. I mean, since Company left, he hasn't really sorted that out properly, in my opinion. And I think that's an issue for him.
What do you think? Which will be the biggest surprise and biggest disappointment of Premier League in this season? Okay. After those games, Sheffield, I did not expect. Nobody, I think, expected that they will not score a goal.
Yeah. Leeds, I think Leeds will do well. Leeds are one of those sort of teams that you kind of like them to do well, because of the way they're playing, and they got a certain vibe about them. I'd like them to do. Obviously, I don't want them to do what they did to us, because I don't think my heart could take that again. Another game like that. But we sort of digress, and we kind of struggle against new teams. I kind of noticed that about us, because I don't know if we don't do our research enough. I don't know how it works. But yeah, but then the problem with these new sort of teams that have just come up, they tend to falter around about after mid-season because they don't have the squad. And then they pick up a couple of injuries, and then one or two of their main players are injured, and then that's it really. Their benches aren't really the best. So that's who I want to do well, who think, not a surprise, but I think should do well. And that's for the, was it like would you ask me what don't want to do well, or? Biggest
surprise and biggest disappointment.
Disappointment? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Well, like, my City were disappointing, but I kind of like that. So I hope they stay disappointing, just like United. I hope they stay disappointing.
Stay in that folder, yeah.
Yeah, stay in like United. They weren't the greatest the other day against Brighton, so I'm a disappointment could be a good thing as well.
And until the, let's say, Boxing Day, do you see Liverpool in a front row? On a pole position?
Yeah, I've not looked at the fixtures that far in advance, but like I said, I mean, we've beat Arsenal, we've beat Chelsea, and they were like, I mean, we've played them at the best times. You play Chelsea at the best time because they've bought all these players, and I don't think Lampard's quite worked out which is his best teammate. This is my opinion. I mean, Werner is starting to pick up a bit, so we'll see. But I can't see us being troubled too much leading up to Boxing Day. I think if we're not top, we should definitely be in the top 3. Easy.
About Boxing Day, I did not thinking about asking that question, but which is the that energy of Boxing Day? Is it so important because of Christmas, which is coming, which is day before, and is it so different to watch a game on a Boxing Day?
For me, it's just another game, isn't it? don't quite understand it. I mean, if you talk to somebody else, they'll probably tell you something different. I mean, it's just
from your point of view as a guy from UK, you know.
I mean, for me, it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't really care as long as my team's winning. I don't really mind if it's Boxing Day, Christmas Day, or All Hallows Eve. I mean, yeah, I think it's a question of it's more of a mind game thing, isn't it? Because it's like you the year, if you're finishing sort of top towards the end of the year, then it sends out a kind of mental message to all the other teams. It's like, yeah, we're the top of the year, and now you have to come and get us. And you know, it's a whole psychological thing, in my opinion. But personally, I don't care. As long as we're winning, as long as we're at top, I don't care.
Okay, we're closing this episode now, but for the end, I want to ask you, which player from that, let's say, younger generation is your favorite, and what do you think, who will make the biggest mark in Liverpool history from those guys like Elliot, Curtis Jones?
Okay.
Neco Williams had problems on Twitter after that game against Lincoln, but guys helped him also. Managers and players helped him, but he's in a bit of struggle now. Okay. But what's your opinion about those guys who are now not only talents, as Linders told, they're now players of Liverpool football squad, you know? Okay,
that's a good question. It's difficult to say. I mean, obviously Jones, I'm going to say as an easy win, Jones. I mean, he's a quality player, and Elliot, I don't know what's happened to him. I think he must be injured or something at the moment. I haven't really seen him on any team sheets and that. I'm not too sure. Maybe someone will correct me on that. Williams, obviously, I'm going to state the obvious, they're quality players. It's just a question of if they get a run, you know? Will they get a run? And this is what, going back to what I was saying earlier about the cups, you know, give these guys a chance. Give them a chance to shine. And if they do, then we'll see the quality that everybody's been talking about. We'll see them play. And anyone who's not a Liverpool fan who doesn't quite know about them will know about them. And then once they get the chance to shine, then they've sort of put their foot in the door. Then who knows what they can achieve. They just have to have a chance, have a good run of games. Like Keita, has to give him a run of games. Give somebody a run of games.
So importance of the cups for you?
For me, for giving the young guys a chance, the cups, because that is when they sort of, an opportunity to let them start the full game. You know, start from the start rather than bring them in 30, 40 minutes in and all that sort of stuff. Bring them in from the start. Let them know what it's like to go from all day, you know. This is just my opinion.
And which are your plans for staying in Belgrade? Will you be here for a few years, maybe to celebrate next year's Champions League or Premier League title?
I'm going to be here for a while, so I'm going to be here for a couple of years minimum. So I'm looking forward to it. Serbia and Belgrade's an awesome city. You know, I like it here. The people are fantastic. You know.
Cool. Enjoy it. Stay well. Stay safe. Support Liverpool wherever you are on the planet, and thanks again for joining Walk On Podcast and for being our guest in this episode 5.
Honestly, it was my pleasure. I had a really good time, so thank you so much.
Cool, thank you. Dragi gledalci, bila je ovo 5. epizoda, čuli smo zanimljive priče koje nam je ispričao Kris i zovem vas da opet svi vi koji niste kliknuli to subscribe dugme ili niste podelili ovu našu Liverpoolovu priču sa svojim prijateljima koji vole fudbal i koji prvenstveno vole Liverpool, zovem vas da to uradite, zovem vas da do epizode 6 koja će ići pred Merseyside derby sa Evertonom i gostovanje Evertonu, da u komentarima ostavite svoja pitanja i da ih spremno dočekamo i odgovorimo vam sa nekim novim gostima. Reći ću vam samo walk on.